Fuel and energy prices up across the board. That is the title of my newest and latest Forbes article that I just released in the last 15 minutes. Now, I don't have to tell you this, but despite or contrary to what you have heard, there is no savings in fuel prices happening right now. And I'm talking about gasoline, I'm talking about diesel, I'm talking about energy prices, electricity prices. Nothing, absolutely nothing is cheaper than it was a year ago. Now, fortunately, gas prices are relatively stable and they're not that much more expensive than they were a year ago, but they certainly have not been cut drastically, as the President of the United States says. Today, they're 4 or 5 cents higher per gallon. Likely, by the end of the year, we will actually average a slightly lower gas price than we did in 2024. But that is only because the first early months, the first 2 quarters of 2024, had relatively higher gas prices than the first, say, 6 months of 2025. If you look at prices today, they're not any cheaper. Are they going to be any cheaper for the rest of the year as the end of last year? I don't think so. I don't really think so. But one of the big stories is the price of diesel. Diesel prices are roughly a quarter a gallon higher than they were last year, even though oil prices are cheaper. And why is this? Well, Ukraine has been hammering Russia's energy infrastructure. Diesel exports out of the United States, mainly to Europe, have increased significantly as Europe has cut off a lot of their imports of Russian fuel supplies. So diesel is significantly higher. Also, some refining capacity issues are playing into that as well, as the Lyondell Basel refinery in Houston recently closed. So I don't expect diesel prices to recover anytime soon. I expect them to stay higher than they were. The EIA is projecting that diesel inventories this year will end lower than they have in over 10 years. And that is right where they're at. And they're also projecting for it to be exactly the same in 2026. So no, not going to get any relief for you guys driving your diesel pickups and diesel trucks, or your farmers that use diesel for all of their equipment. No relief, no relief. As I point out in the article, the most concerning thing for me is continued rise of electricity prices. And while you may hear numbers of electricity prices rising from 4 to 10% from different sources around the internet, those sources are not figuring for transmission and delivery charges. They're only talking about prices per kilowatt hour. So the actual price increases you're seeing on your bill significantly higher than that 4 to 10% that they will tell you. And that is going to continue as more data centers and more demand and natural gas demand grows. Natural gas prices are rising significantly right now, as I told you they would. So electricity prices, no relief in sight for that. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to get significantly worse, because it is going to take us years to get our grid to where we need it to handle the demand for electricity that we are creating through population growth, industrial growth, and most importantly, growth in data centers. If you want to read that article, I urge you to go check it out. Just search, fuel and energy prices up across the board. Matt Randolph, it's out there on Forbes. I'll include a link in the description. Thank you guys to all my new followers and subscribers. I really appreciate it. Please like and share. You guys have a great evening. Thanks.